But because being ill and lying down, you don't feel it so much, you don't feel it so much. But that was the first thing, Christmas Eve, and then I am all right now. Still remember that.
Wait, what happened to the group that you were sent back with? Did you hear what happened to them?
We haven't got a clue. We never seen them. We don't know, no idea where they are and what happened. And then we assume that they're in Kochevia.
You think that's what happened?
There are a few of them come back youngsters, but they let them go a little bit before. In Serbia, I believe. They stopped in Serbia for a couple of days and they sort them out then, after 3 or 4 days after, because my girlfriend came from there. They sent her home from there. And then the 1 or 2 youngsters, which they came here after, they come across later on, 2 years, 3 years time. They come home and they told us that they let them go. But where the others gone, they didn't know. But from my village, from Potapar and that village there, even if they were 16, 17 years old, they killed them still. They say that area, everybody has disappeared because they're all anti-communist. And then I can name you names which they were more than. One was only a student, never been partisan. Student, but because he was a student, 16 years old, they killed him. Because the father, didn't like communists or things like that. And after, a few months after, I believe that Marshal Tito proclaimed some kind of amnesty, and then some of them then come back out, and they didn't do them. They didn't do anything to them, but for me it wasn't safe even then. It would have been.
But that, one reads of the awful massacre at that pit at, is it Kochevia?
Kochevia.
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 Yes.
Kochevsky Rog.
Yes. When did you hear about that?
Or later on. Maybe 1 year or 2 years, or maybe later on. Years after.
Yes.
Years after.
Yeah.
Oh, years after.
And you think your brother died in that?
Oh yes, I'm sure. I'm sure he's there somewhere. I'm sure. Because the witnesses which there, 1 or 2 escaped from them. When these witnesses start telling, but some of them didn't come out from Yugoslavia for 2 or 3 years. The witnesses which are on the photo been in London. One especially, 2 of them I think came, Zeitz, he was the most prominent. He came from the cave itself.
Could you believe that they would have done something like that, massacred people? And
I could. We knew communists, we knew. When I seen all those later cards write, kill, if 4 of us remain, I knew straight away then. My father was always telling me, the most ruthless tyranny, communism. We better die than live with them. And then yet he suffered after with them. He didn't really suffer, they left him alone. But he was nobody. They always pushed him about. They nationalized they left the land, a little bit of land. They took it from him, but mothers was left a little bit so that they could survive there. And when I was in England, I support them a little bit, But hard-working people, and then they survived. We didn't want to give in.
Yes. You haven't really said much about your reaction to what happened, the way you were treated by the British, because it would seem from what you've said you were deceived, that you expected to go to Italy.
Yes, that's the only grudge I got against them, because I didn't suffer about the English. As far as English concerned, they didn't do nothing bad to me. That's the only thing it was wrong, as far as I am concerned. If they told us the truth, we would never go on. That's the only grudge I got against them. Why they didn't tell us the truth? We were always saying Germans will tell you the truth, English will tell you the truth, Italians will never tell you the truth. And we trust them that they will tell us the truth. I would have never gone. I mean, maybe it was some experience for me to experience all that eventually. You harden yourself. When I come to England, I was a harder man. I was more careful and cautious and things like that. In another way, as I say, maybe I benefit a little bit of that. But in another way, it was not necessary.
Do you have any sort of bitterness against the people who did that, the British soldiers the politicians?
No, they made a mistake. As I say, the novice said hello to me, and then I would talk to him, sensibly. And then he would tell me exactly the same as I know what he would say. He's sorry that anything happened. He didn't think it would happen, didn't it? And then if he knew that, that was the mistake. Churchill said that was a big mistake straight away. When we come here to this country, and then we asked the Cardinal Keenan or somebody, and go and ask him, and he said that was the mistake we done. It should have never happened. Very well.
Did you talk much about it when you came to Britain? You know, did you...
Of course.
Yes.
Of course we do. That Kunstel, we came here as European volunteer workers. And then Kunstel, the priest, couldn't come with us because he wasn't volunteer worker. He didn't go in the pit or anything. So they told us, you go in the pit or in farming or in heavy industry. And you have to be healthy and less than 39 years old. And when we come here, we want Kunstel, and we signed a petition. And we gave it to that cardinal, and the cardinal gone to the government, and they gave him permission to come here. And he came here. And then he was in a way like our chaplain for all. It's about 600, 700 of us came, Slovenians. But 10,000 Yugoslavs altogether. But we were like Slovenians, we were still Slovenians.
And how many in this area?
It was about 50, 60 in this area then, but some of them went after. A few went to Canada, not a lot. Some of them went up to Lancashire, some of them to London. In this area now is still about 20, or maybe 15, but they got families and a few already died, quite a few.
What was it like coming to England for you?
Very nice, very good. Everything was so quiet and calm. In Italy, you went on the station and it's noisy and things like that. We come here in England, there was nobody nowhere, no signs, anything like that. People was nice. We talked to people here. They were treating us very, very nicely. We were like one of them straight away. And then some of them start talking, it's better living in America, we'll go there, we'll go to Canada and things like that. But to me somehow, I never really wanted to go.
Session number 11083, room 5.
Janez, Dernulc, Real 5. We're talking now about the time when you came to Britain, aren't we?
Yes.
And you've been explaining your first impressions. How about the language situation when you came? You know, I wonder what the system was for people like yourself. First of all, sort of, you've explained the work scheme under which you came. And what organisation was looking after you?
British brought us to England. And first thing we went was to Full Sutton near York. They sent us all there.
Where was that?
Full Sutton, York, near York. They sent us all there. And we all went through the doctors. Doctors check us up if there's anything wrong with us. And we stayed there about approximately a week.